Hi everybody, my name is Pierre Cook and I used to be a problem solver in industry, and I watched the biggest motorcycle industry in the world collapse completely in a few years, and I wondered, why would that happen? So I started a company that found out. Turns out there were certain problems that human beings can't see, big problems. When an error gets embedded into tradition and culture, it becomes a norm and we can't see it. And that's what's happened in science. Ever since science got started, I'm going to say, with Newton, it started to fall apart. And now it's become completely inconsistent information. We can't see it. Here's a quote from Rudolf Claudius. Once the error is based like a foundation stone in the ground, everything is built thereupon. Nevermore it returns to the light. So, science started to fall apart. It's carried on falling apart until now it lies in ruins. Physics is inconsistent information. So this first video lays out all the inconsistencies in science, and in the second video we put them together. So what's the first and the biggest inconsistency? Well, we all know that physics itself is inconsistent because there's two kinds of physics: quantum mechanics and relativity. That needs to be put together. It's all the same matter, in the same universe. It needs fixing. But there's worse. Gravity is inconsistent with all the other fundamental forces. A gravitational field and a gravitational body must have the same explanation as a magnetic field, a magnetic body, and an electrical field, an electrical body. Must have, to make them consistent. Now, I'm not the only person saying that. If you take a look at BBC Radio 4, in our time, the programme Quantum Gravity, Dr. Janna Levin says, it all has to come down to common sense. We can't go on with the forces not speaking to each other. And gravity again is in problems. The motion of bodies under gravity is completely inconsistent. Two bodies in space, the Earth and the Sun, is in here. They move in an ellipse. But the solar system is not in here. Here's why. Three bodies in space, the Earth, the Sun and the Moon, isn't an ellipse. Once a month, the Earth and the Moon wobble around each other, and physics is not made of anything that wobbles. So three bodies in space is inconsistent with two bodies in space. And three bodies in space, if they are of equal size, are completely chaotic. So that's very inconsistent. And what about the solar system? That's more than three bodies. And it's a beautifully harmonized clock. So that's inconsistent. The planets don't move in ellipses. They move in very complicated shapes, like spirographs. And then the three bodies in space, which are chaotic, are in this book. This is a layer of science which nobody suspected was there. You can't get at it without computers. This is the unpredictable behavior of matter. And it has underlying mathematical foundations, and they are not physics. Now, I'm going to recommend that you buy a copy of this book, Chaos and Nonlinear Dynamics by Robert C. Hilborn. It's full of all the clues we need to rebuild science. And if you've got the book, you hold it in your hands, it's a psychological trick to get you to common sense. So this is a description of the physical behaviour of matter which is unpredictable, all backed up by reference to experiment. Bedrock science. This is a description of the physical behaviour of matter, all backed up by reference to experiment. Bedrock science. So we must put these two together to make science consistent. And we'll do that in the second video. But we haven't finished. What about biology? That's a description of the same matter as physics. But when you go to university, nobody says, well, why do we teach in this department physics and this one biology? It's all the same matter in the same universe. Something's wrong. Something's very wrong at base. And what about the standard model in physics? It doesn't make any sense. The periodic table is all organised, sequential, nothing missing. The standard model isn't all organised, yet it builds the periodic table. Something's wrong. So we need to put together the standard model with the periodic table. And first, we've got to make the standard model internally self-consistent. So that's what we're going to start doing. A series of videos that rebuilds science on evidence that you can go away and check. And it's very important that you follow the story. It's taken decades to find all the evidence. So we're going to do one idea every video. Keep the videos short so you can watch them again and again. And at the end, you can hold me to account. And we're going to get to a new periodic table of everything, showing that the universe is all based on one periodic repeating pattern. That's got to be worth waiting for. So enjoy the ride. It only gets better. See you next time.